Now through him do we see.
Our hands once were idle. Now through them does he speak.
And when the world shall listen,
and when the world shall see,
and when the world remembers,
that world will cease to be. Here in his shrine,
that they have forgotten.
here do we toil.
That we might remember.
By night we reclaim what by day was stolen.
You may have everyone fooled, but I see what you're doing here. The call of gold sends you scurrying like a rat. Excuse me, but the temple is for followers of our faith alone. Outsiders aren't welcome here. Elder Arthroloth is grouped. If they desire salvation, the citizens of Raven Rock need to open their eyes and their pockets. Non-believers are never
they
welcome
want to give
here.
Telmithrin a wide berth. I don't like the looks of that place one bit.
Glover Mallory, the wonder with the hammer in it.
I work for Mogrul. You got a problem, you talk to him. Mogrul doesn't lend coin to outlanders. Look somewhere else.
Find my pickaxe yet?
Welcome to the Retching Netch Corner Club, home of the finest Sue Jammer that will ever grace your lips.
Adril, a word, please. Fethis, I'm quite busy at the moment. Why hasn't a red...
There's actually a funny story behind the name, friend. A few years ago, I was walking down by the docks, and I noticed a Dunmer staggering along with a bottle of Sue Jammer in hand. He was one of my patrons and liked to drink heavily, so I wasn't exactly surprised. But you see, this particular Dunmer was as naked as the day he was born, and singing badly at the top of his lungs. As I'm watching this spectacle, a Netch floats over the bulwark towards him. The man looks straight up at the Netch, yells, "Have a drink!" and tosses the bottle. And it never hit the ground.
I'll recover my losses in due time.
Well, the bottle broke on the Netch, and it must have swallowed its contents because it started floating sort of tilted.
Fethis,
Finally, it stopped and began to quiver.
What in the name of the...
A few moments later, the foulest liquid to ever assail your nostrils spewed from its maw. I've seen plenty of drunks in me day, and I'll tell you right now, that Netch was sick. True story, friend. True story. How do you feel? It's a blessing. I've got regular paying customers again. Thirsty workers at the end of the day, and more coin than I can count. The finest Sue Jammer across your lips, friend. My own personal formula that I call Sadri's Sue Jammer. In fact, I've just added some new ingredients to the mixture that I think makes it taste better than ever. All I need to do is get the word out that it's ready, and they'll flock here for it. I was kind of hoping you'd say that. Here, take these samples of the Sue Jammer and spread the word. If you get rid of all of them, there's something extra in it for you.
You brought Raven Rock back from the brink, traveler. I don't know how to thank you.
If you've got gold on your hands, you might talk to Rallis up at Colbjorn Barrow. I've heard he wants to excavate the place. The Redoran Guard have spotted a pack of werewolves in the mountains. The hunters up on Frostmoon Crag might know more.
Posted at my shop, like I've requested.
Haven't heard anything lately. But check back with me. You never know.
The East Empire Company or not. They abandoned us long ago, so your
Well, Adril's got himself a spy, does he? Azura knows he needs all the help he can get. He's been chasing the Ulins for years now. No, I just think he's going about this the wrong way. Actually, I do. If you want to catch those slippery slaughterfish, you need to let them come to you.
I appreciate your assistance.
There's an Ulan ancestral tomb near the
You
temple.
must be using quite a
Someone's
bit
been
of
leaving
your
ash yam offerings on the altar inside. If you were to wait inside for whomever that is,
Not to
I'm betting
worry,
they'll
Admiral.
have some of the
I'll
answers
recover
you're
my
looking
losses
for.
in due time.
What makes you think I haven't? Anytime Adral and the Redarin Guard made a move, the Ulans must have been one step ahead and didn't show up. You can thank me if it works. Until then, I'd head to the tomb and wait until your visitor shows up.
Fethis, how's that pretty young daughter of yours doing?
What in the name of the Black Hands is that supposed to mean?
When a Dunmer is laid to rest,
Nothing.
the body is burned
I
and
was
returned to
just
the ashen
making
soil.
conversation.
Since the ash yam is born of the very same soil, it represents rebirth and renewal, the fact that life ends and begins anew. Back in 95, Vila Ulin came to Raven Rock with a plan to take over our town. But Fetcher thought he could stir up the locals and use them against the Redarin Guard, and then murder Consul Morvain when we weren't looking. He arrived alone, but spread enough coin around to start changing people's minds. Half the bloody town joined his side. Can you believe that?
Admiral,
He underestimated the Redarin Guard. They were organized and brought a swift, but he was caught by Captain Velith himself.
Can't spare anyone right now.
Vila Ulan was executed a short time later, and his remains placed in the Ulan
They abandoned
ancestral
us all,
tomb.
So your contacts are meaningless here. That's it.
Nothing specific, but I'm hearing rumblings of assassins living amongst us. I think they intend to target Consular Morvain, but I can't be certain. Watch yourself out there. Looks like an ash storm might be
Fethis,
brewing.
how's that pretty young daughter of yours doing?
What in the name of the Black Hands is that supposed to mean?
Nothing. I was just making conversation.
Next time you feel like having a conversation, talk to someone else. Geldis, I need to know if you heard anything about House Lalu setting foot on the island.
Strolled in, I'd come find you.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't bark at you like that.
You're doing your job, Adral. No one can fault you for that.
It's the only tool tough enough to crack Stalrim, is what it is. Not many of those beauties left in the world. Forging them is a lost art. The one Cresius borrowed came from the Skull village up north. I, traded them some goods for it. Calling Stalrim an ore is like calling my forge a campfire. Some folks say it's enchanted ice, but I think there's more to it than that. I don't think I've come across more than a chunk or two in my lifetime, and smithing's my trade. If you're looking to learn more, you should head over to the Skull Village. Someone there's bound to know more about it than I do. I've always had a steady stream of work thanks to the Redarin Guard, so it hasn't affected me much. However, I've seen the smile on people's faces, and there's hope around here once again. Something we've been lacking for a long time. No, wait. Maybe. I don't know how I know that name. I'm not sure. I don't want to talk about this. Perfect. I was just thinking about heading over for a drink. Thanks for saving me the trip. You tell Cresius he better give that pickaxe back to me, or else.
It's busier now that things are starting to look up. I guess I might stay a bit longer after all. He draws near.
I am his hands.
Welcome to the Retching Netch Corner Club, home of the finest Sioux jammer that will ever grace your lips.
them his hands.
If there's anything at all I can do to help, please let me know. What? Oh, no, thank you. I need to keep my head clear. Traitors. The lot of them. Their collaboration with the Empire may have given them unrivaled political and economic strength, but their hearts weren't with the Dunmer people. Lalu deserved every bit of hatred they received once the Empire released its grasp on Morrowind. Having past ties to the Empire immediately turned them into the scapegoat for the Dunmer people's suffering. They had welcomed the Empire with open arms and benefited from it. When everything was said and done, they were no longer recognized as a great house and were dismissed from the council. I maintain a few contacts in other Dunmer settlements across Tamriel. Most hail from House Redoran, but there are a few from other hubs. Most of my contacts live leagues away from Solstheim, sending the occasion. However, any information we can glean in times like this I consider vital to House Redoran's survival. During the Oblivion Crisis, gates to the Plane of Oblivion opened all over Morrowind. We had no standing army at the time, just uncoordinated pockets of resistance. House Redoran took charge and was slowly able to build an army. It took years, but it became a force to be reckoned with. When the Argonians invaded years later, House Redoran's army was able to prevent them from sweeping across all of Morrowind. It would be fair to say that House Redoran literally saved the Dunmer people from destruction. You might think it's all perfume and roses now that the mine's open, but all I see is a new security problem on our hands. Making sure, and with Solstheim crawling with reavers and Azora knows what else, I can't risk any attacks on Raven Rock. I'm unsure. I don't think so. I'm not... The name has something to do with the Earthstone, I think.
Welcome to the Retching Netch Corner.
Sure what?
Sorry. Gildas won't allow me to drink while I'm working at the Netch. Did I know someone by that name? Someone that wanted something. Maybe I'm just confused. I can't be sure. All right, then.
The best swordsman in all Morrowind is at your service. For the right price. Then let's be off. Long story, I don't see the harm in sharing it with you. My last patron was a true Nord. He had tattoos on his face. A real traditional type, if you know what I mean. He had an insatiable bloodlust and was extremely stubborn. One of the toughest employers I've ever had. Simple. He paid well. Very well. Anyway, we'd just cleared a ruined fort somewhere outside of Whiterun, and when we got outside, we saw one of them galloping away on horseback. Well, my boss wasn't about to let him get away, so we pursued. On foot. For 3 days. Until we ended up tracking him to one of the largest bandit encampments I'd ever seen. My patron took one look at me and made the most menacing grin I'd ever seen. At that moment, I knew I'd never see him again. No amount of money would ever be worth that kind of death. Right behind you. Anytime you want to head for Skyrim...
I work for Mokro. You got a problem, you talk to him.
I'll give you this warning only once. Stay out of my way, and we'll do just fine.
Take that swill and pour it down a well. All right, then.
Welcome. The mine's open, people are buying drinks, and I'm making money again. Just like old times. My doors are always open.
Merkel doesn't lend coin to outlanders. Look somewhere else.
How about a drink for the hero who cleared Fort Frostmark? Welcome to the retching net shout. Sure thing. It's yours for a day. Come back any time. My doors are always open.
Ethan, I'm here to help you.
Now through him do we see.
Your hands once were idle.
Ethan, I'm here to help you.
And when the world shall listen,
What's our next move? Right behind you. You may have everyone fooled, but I see what you're doing. The call of gold.
Excuse me.
I'm glad
I
that
didn't realize there was anyone else here. I presume the same thing you're doing, leaving an offering for the departed. Nice to see a fellow Dunmer following the traditional customs. Since there aren't any Ulans left on this island, I've taken it upon myself to leave the traditional offering in their stead. Oh, no bother. We all have a right to be here. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'd like to meditate a bit.
Anytime you want to hit the Skyrim, I'm right. I've spent enough time on Solstein to last a lifetime.
I work for Mopul. You've got a problem, you talk to him.
I'll give you this warning only once. Stay out of my way, and we'll do just fine.
I don't know who sent you here, but you've... I should mix some of this into my next potion. Who knows what would happen? Remember, I have plenty of potions and ingredients. Destroying the ash... I think I can teach you a thing or two. Remember, I have plenty of potions and ingredients if you're ever in the market.
Mopul doesn't
I hope
lend
Geld
coin
has
to
proved
outlanders.
useful. Have you
Look
made any
somewhere
progress?
else.
Telesu. Are you sure? So Geldus's plan worked, eh? Every time we tried it, no one would ever show up. If Telesu's involved in any sort of plot to harm Councillor Morvain, I'm going to need hard evidence to prove it. I'm not kicking down anyone's door until I have solid evidence in hand. If you're wrong about Telesu, things would quickly go downhill around here, and the real culprits might slip away. I can't afford for that to happen. If you have evidence and it places your life in peril, I would expect you to do whatever you must to keep yourself alive.
Hope we don't run into too many.
Here, this key should open the front door of the manor in case they've locked it. Good luck. Telesu is wife to the family patriarch Vendel. They have a single child, a daughter named Miriam. They arrived here 10 years ago and have been nothing but a benefit to Raven Rock ever since. They are quite wealthy and they've been quite generous by sharing their fortune with the community. They've contributed coin, food, supplies, even helped repair a few of the buildings in town with their own hands. People have mentioned it's a bit odd about how close in age Mary appears to be to her father, but that's hardly a cause for alarm. Just make sure you find solid evidence. If I accuse them without... Villa Ulen wasn't the first Ulen to live in Raven Rock. His father, Valen Ulen, was one of the first Dunmer to settle here. Unlike his son, Villa, Valen was a good man. He contributed to the community and was quite respected. When Valen died, his family provided the funds to construct the tomb. The Ulen family being a part of House Lalu didn't matter. It's Dunmer's tradition for the ashes of the deceased to be placed in an ancestral tomb. Valen Ulen and his son's remains were both laid to rest there because that's what he'd requested. Be careful. If the
Your
Severins
actions
hadn't
here
betrayed
have been a
us,
blessing.
then they'll be well
Always a
harmed.
pleasure to taste anything Galdis comes up with. If you've got something to sell, I'm willing to buy it. Why don't we see what kind of deal we can make? Next time you're hungry, stop by. I always have plenty of food for sale.
It's busier now that things are starting to look up. Geldis needs to bottle this up and send it to the mainland instead of wasting his time out here. His drinks are outstanding. Thanks. Things are picking up for now. All I'm wondering is how long it'll take for House Redorin to begin ignoring us again if the mine runs out of ore for a second time. The East Empire pendants are scattered all over, so leave no stone unturned.
With the Ashbourne threat taken care of, I can give my men the rest they deserve. Well done, friend. Ah, this is bone mold armor. Quite impressive, wouldn't you say? It's fashioned from actual bone that's been reinforced with a resin-like material and then shaped to form the armor plating. It might appear brittle, but I'd wager it could stop the blow of a weapon better than iron or steel. All of the soldiers in this town are Redoran Guard. Some of the best warriors that House Redoran has to offer. I've spent quite a few years honing their skills, and I can assure you they're not just your average city guard. To protect Councillor Morvain, of course. He has quite a few friends on the council back in Morrowind, and they wanted to ensure his safety while he was here. Other than that, I'm not at liberty to discuss it. It can be. Even the most experienced warriors can fall prey to petty distractions. They usually didn't amount to much, but they make my job that much harder. Some of my own men have become quite accustomed to a spirit they called Emberbrand wine. Despise the stuff myself. It's powerful and tremendously addicting. I've seen men fail to finish even a single flask. If I knew where they were stashing the bottles, I'd put an end to it myself. You would? That would be helpful. I just don't have time to do it myself right now. They're too smart to have left it in the bulwark. I'd search one of the abandoned houses on the outskirts of town. I've had to muster some more men to protect the mine, but I don't really have a problem with that. Second Councillor Arano is concerned that once word reaches the Reavers that the mine has reopened, they might think about paying us a visit. I say let them try. My men are ready for them. Find me that stash of wine. But she can be rid of it.
Find my pickaxe yet? You tell Cresius he better give that pickaxe back to me, or else. You got a good thing going here now that you've reopened the mines. Don't let it go to waste.
I don't know who sent you here, but you've given us something to build on.
Hope we don't run into too many ash spawn out here. Anytime you want to head for Skyrim, I'm right with you. I've spent enough time on Solstheim to last a lifetime. don't run into too many ash spawn out here.
Careful, Miri. Someone's in here with
Watch
us.
it, Talisu. I think we might have a visitor. The house No. It's not my time.
Anytime you want to head for Skyrim, I'm right with you. I've spent enough time on Solstheim to last a lifetime. Hope we don't run into too many ash spawn out here. I'm not sure why House Redren is so insistent on maintaining Solstheim. Seems like more trouble than it's worth.
I trust you're not planning any trouble. What can I do for you, friend?
Did you find any evidence at Severin Manor yet? Then we finally have them. All that remains now is chasing them down and bringing them to justice. Good. I'm going to send 2 of the best Redren Guard we have to take them down. I want you to assist them any way you can.
Anytime you want to head for Skyrim, I'm
See that you do. We can't afford to let these traitors slip away. Ashfallow Citadel's been abandoned for a long time. Be ready for anything.
Captain Gallen does the business.
Northern Maiden is
I'm
ship
just a
shape
ship's
and
mate.
ready to go.
Go cast your fancy magic someplace else.
I lived in the grey quarter of Windhelm.
Got something for just about everybody in here. Give a holler if you have any questions.
What's our next move?
All my goods are legitimate. I like to share my good fortune with those who deserve it. Of course nothing in here is stolen. Only a careless, shameful, idiotic fetcher would do something as stupid as to buy pilfered goods. Oh, by Azura, I've made a terrible mistake. I bought a gold ring, and Viola Giordano has been missing a ring that looks just like it. It's not that easy. She'd go to the Jarl if she knew I was even remotely involved. You have to get it to her some other way. Look, it's dangerous. But if you sneak the ring into her house, put it in a dresser or something, I will make it worth your while. I've scraped this collection together by whatever means I could. I do some business with the trade caravans, and I've picked up a number of items from adventurers like yourself. A few intrepid souls even brought some items back from Morvenskar, the fort southwest of the city. Some may call this junk. Me, I call them treasures. Don't let Viola catch you in her house.
I'm telling you, I heard it. Howling. Those werewolf tales are true.
Hi, mister. Not much, but I hope you like them. They're dead. My mama died when I was little. I don't remember her very well. My father was a Stormcloak soldier. One day he left and didn't come back. I'm all alone. I try to sell flowers so I can buy food. It's not much, but what else can I do? Stop by again.
I'd be out. Oh, thank you. Divines bless your kind heart.
To receive the blessing of Talos, you have only to pray at the altar. Like anyone, a crisis will push them towards devotion. I've been seeing a lot of the Shatter Shields since they lost their daughter. Hilevi Cruelseat comes in a lot, but I haven't seen her husband here in years.
I lived in the great quarter
Ulfric
of
prays for
Windhelm
strength.
for years.
I speak to Captain Lonelygale, but he doesn't spend much time here. Too busy.
Let's be done here, quickly.
The Empire's elven puppet masters never cared much for the idea of a human becoming a divine, so the worship of Talos is outlawed. Skyrim doesn't take kindly to being told what to do. And to try and forget Talos, well, they may as well ordered us all to cut off our ears. Talos, who in life was known as Tiber Septim, united Tamriel and founded the Empire. He was rewarded for his deeds by being joined with the Divines in eternal glory, the only mortal to do so. We worship him that we might follow in his path. We can't literally join him in the heavens, but we may do our best to know them here on Nirn. Blessings of Arkay be upon you.
I've spent my life serving Talos. I don't plan to stop now, no matter. Talos created the Empire. You'd think they'd show him more respect. The way I see it, Ulfric's fighting a holy war.
You know about Talos? He founded the Empire.
Hold it there. Keep your distance. Another girl killed. This is Susanna, from Candlehearth Hall. Served me a drink just a few nights ago, but I can't say I knew her.
Poor old woman.
Susanna's the third. It's always the same. Young girl, killed at night, body torn up. We are stretched thin as it is with the war. Nobody has the time to spend on this. Not pleasant, but it's the truth. If you want to help, ask some of these gawkers if they saw anything useful. I'm going to examine the body before the rats can get to it. We got a nickname for anyone who trifles with us gods here in Windhelm.
Always sad when someone has to die. Sorry, I thought I saw a fellow running away, but didn't get a good look at him. A most pleasant chat. Until the next.
Another one. Terrible.
Always sad when someone has to die.
I heard a scream and came running, but she was already... like this when I got here.
I lived in the grey quarter of Windhelm for years. It's a wretched place. Always sad when someone has to die. Let's be done here, quickly.
This is a shame.
Always sad. Someone has to die.
Another one. Terrible.
This is a shame. No, sorry. But I did notice that her coin purse was still intact, so whoever did this wasn't after gold. I'm going to keep preparing the body, if you'll excuse me.
Spare a coin. Talos rewards the generous.
I mostly deal with petty thievery and drunken brawls. Been too long since we've had a good bandit raid. Just like always, nobody saw anything useful. Bastards escaped again.
Spare a coin.
Look, friend, if you think you can do better than the Legion of Guards, be my guest. You'll need to talk to Yorleif, though. We can't just let anyone go around claiming to be on official business. If he's willing, then we'll talk.
My job's simple enough. The dead don't really complain much.
A few septims for my supper is all I ask.
If you've got some time, stop by my House of Curiosities. I promise you'll see
Nervous
wonder.
being alone at night, especially these days, with the butcher prowling the streets.
Can't just throw the big logs on the fire. When I'm cutting wood, I pretend there's an Imperial soldier's head on the stove.
I'd try if you're looking to get a bit of this and a bit of that. Thank you for your custom.
Yes, everything I got on display, really. Good day to you.
I have a lot of Some may call this junk. Me, I call them treasures.
Be sure to stop by Sadri's used wares in the Grey Quarter.
Come and browse my
The Dunmer get their drinks at the new Nissus Corner Club. Why they can't just call it a tavern is...
I'll be fine.
Master, you're far too old for this sort of journey. We don't know what's inside.
I can... just...
You see, you're not well. Have a seat, and I'll fetch you some tonic.
Oh, if there was a tonic that could help me, I would have found it by now.
My master can be a bit short-tempered, but I've learned so much from him.
Are you kidding? I came all the way from Cyrodiil just to work with him. He's not the best teacher, but just watching him, I've learned so much.
I lived in the grey quarter of Windhelm for years.
All right, then.
It's a wretched place full of bitter
So
dumbness.
close to the answer.
Let's be done here, quickly.
Just a man's life work is all. I finally derived the location of the White Phial, but this doting busybody won't let me get it. You would do that? It's good to know there are some people out there who are willing to help an old man. It's buried with its maker, Corral Mill, in a long-forsaken cave to the west of here. Corral Mill was a crafty one, even in death. You would need the skills of a master alchemist to reach his resting place. Luckily for you, I've already made the mixture. Here, take it. Please, don't dally. I've wasted enough time arguing with my useless assistant here. I've spent my entire life searching for it. It brought me all the way to these frozen reaches from the warm embrace of Somerset Isle. Entire years spent in libraries, seeking out tiny villages with local legends that contain but a whisper of a hint of the phial. I even named my shop after it, hoping that it might attract anyone who had heard of it. And now it's within my grasp. But the eight, it seems, have chosen me for their amusement. For in my current condition, I'll never be able to lay my hands on it. A legendary bottle, forged in the days when Skyrim was just starting its turn to ice. A small container made of the magically infused snow that first fell on the throat of the world. It is said that the phial will replenish whatever fluid is placed inside of it. For an alchemist like myself, it is the most pure expression of my art. To create from nothingness is poetry. Why are you still standing around here? Go get me the phial, you fool! Quintus, could you fetch me a copy of the Firmament? I need to compare the old star charts to today's.
Did they really record the star positions from Corral Mill's tomb? There's no way it's that precise.
Confound it. Boy, I know what I'm doing. It will help me to remember the season of his burial, which I can cross-reference.
I apologize, Master.
Don't waste time apologizing. Just find the book.
I lived in the grey quarter of Windhelm for years. It's a wretched place full of bitter Dunmer. Let's be done here, quickly. What's our next move?
Take a good look around. I'm sure you'll find what you... May the eight take a look. Hope to see you again soon.
Working in Wendhelm is great. I get to see Ulfric up close. A word of advice, don't buy discounted armor.
Everyone says Yorland Grange...
Name's Nils. I'm the cook up at Candlehearth.
I plan to change.
The townsfolk call me captain, because I used to be a sailor. Fair winds and calm seas.
Farm work is hard work. It's good to relax when I can. But
I thought the Grey Quarter would be a haven for my kind. The Grey Quarter is not...
Windhelm is divided into 4 quarters. The Grey Quarter is the one that's home to all the city's dark elves. If it looks to you like an impoverished slum, that's because it is. Ulfric prefers that we live in squalor. He has nothing but disdain for anyone who isn't a Nord. He tolerates us, but that's the extent of his hospitality. Not a day goes by that I don't think about returning to the ancestral home of my... Still, even with the rough treatment we've had at the hands of Ulfric and his lot, I've got ties here. It's probably more trouble to pack up and leave than it is to stay. Besides, Ambrose can't run the corner club on his own.
Enjoy yourself. Take a look. If you need another drink, I'll be right here.
rough for those such as us.
I lived in the Grey Quarter of Windhelm for years.
Farm work is hard work. It's good to relax when I can.
Be on the lookout. The butcher could be around any corner. Be careful. That murderer
Good
could
to
be
see you
in
again,
here.
friend.
And anyone.
See ya.
After what happened to those other women, I'm worried about my own safety.
I lost my twin sister a while back. Have you ever lost anyone close?
The Imperials think we need their laws.
I lived in the Grey Quarter of... Windhelm for years. It's a wretched place full of bitter dunman. What's our next move? What do you have in mind? What did you need? That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Anything else?
My father says we need to just get on with our lives. Like it's that easy.
If you've got some time, stop by my House of Curiosities. I promise you'll see wonders.
Ever since that Imperial
It's
Craven
good to
ran me
spend
through
some
from
time.
behind.
A life on the river makes for weak legs, so I do a little trot training. Captain... Out with it.
Farm work is hard work. It's good to relax when I can.
I once killed 6 men single-handed. I'll rescue my brothers in arms from ambush by an Imperial patrol. I'm not too proud. Oh, thank you. Divines bless your kind heart.
I'm a sailor on the North Wind. We're laying over in Windham.
I've a lot of respect for the Restoration School. Skyrim could use more heroes.
What happened? What happened?
What a waste.
What happened?
What happened?
Another corpse for the pile. I'm selling the best meat in town for cheap. Interested?
So,
No, friend. You got it all wrong. I'm not selling cheap meat. I'm selling good meat for cheap. Blackbriar meat. I sell cases of it for half of what the inns and taverns pay through the meadery. All I need is someone to deliver it for me. If anyone saw me leave Riften, they get suspicious. I need someone to take this small keg of Blackbriar mead to Wilhelm at the Villimer Inn in Iverstead. Drop it off, and he'll trade you something for the delivery. Keep it as payment for the legwork. Oh, and if you bump into Indaren from the meadery, keep your mouth shut. He'd rat us out in a second. Good. Now get going. Nothing but the best. Blackbriar mead, fresh from the vat. Best of all, you don't have to pay the ridiculous prices Maven charges. So what do you say to that? Suit yourself. If you change your mind, I'll be around.
Pull up a seat. Something troubling you? I'll listen. This kind of work suits you, and it's going to end up making you rich. I handled. If break-ins are more your thing, go talk to Vex. Sometimes we just like to remind the city that we mean business, so we hit 'em hard. Just steal whatever we can until we made an impression. Simple, right? Almost. The catch is, it doesn't count if anyone sees you take it. The message needs to be clear. We work in the shadows. Steal from anywhere in the hold, and you even get to keep everything you stole. So, you in? Here's everything you need. You get caught, and we've never heard of you.
Even if you're one of us, you better not make trouble.
I have work if you've got the backbone. Walking away without taking a job? It's like passing a bloated coin purse on a table.
Got some good pieces out here if you're looking to buy. More inside. I don't claim to be the best blacksmith.
My favorite drinking buddy. Let's get some meat.
Whiterun. There's a nip in the air. Cold won't be good for my crops. Doesn't that matter?
Maybe some other time I will be here to...
I ain't done nothing.
That's a promise.
Sure, whatever.
Crystals flying. Ooh, maybe trepanning.
What? Why are you looking at me? You trying to hide? Because I can see you plain as day.
Whiterun, the pride of Skyrim. Doesn't look like much to me. Now Blacklight, on the other hand, that's a proper city. Whiterun, the pride of Skyrim.
Doesn't look like much to me. Now Blacklight, on the other hand, that...
Rather, I think I can teach you a thing or two. Come back at... Pardon me, but do I detect a case of the rattles? I've got something for that.
Oh, what happened?
Dead. Oh my goodness.
Any luck gathering those ingredients?
Gotta keep my eyes open. Damn dragons could swoop down at any time.
Perfect. This is just what I needed. Here's some gold for your time. Yes. Master Elgrim will be pleased I've restored his stock of these rare ingredients. I feel I owe you a bit more than some meaningless coin for all your diligence. Here. This key unlocks my supply chest at Elgrim's Elixirs. Feel free to take what you need from time to time. I'll be refilling it once every few days or so. Don't forget to check your supply chest from time to time.
From Hammerfell, got curved swords.
So, what can I do for you? Something troubling you? I'll listen. Couldn't have done it better myself. Here's your coin. Good. My clients are getting impatient.
Even if you're one of us, you better not make trouble. I don't care if you're best buddies with the Guildmaster. I'll still smash in your skull if you try anything.
Need a few spare septums? I handled... If you don't like that kind of work, talk to Delvin. He runs the more up-close...
You did? Thanks.
So you're the new recruit, huh? Well, looks like you and I are gonna have to get very well acquainted.
Price was 100 higher than I expected.
I'm the fence down here. You come by anything you don't exactly own, and I'll pay you some coin for it. Minus a little slice for the guild, of course. I can also provide a few supplies useful to our trade now and again, for a small fee. Sure, how about I get Dirge to knock you over your head and dump you into the cistern? Look, I've been in this business a long time, and I've seen all types. You can play it tough, or you can play it smart. Whatever. At the end of the day, you'll find that all we care about down here is how much gold you can make us. Good. Then there isn't much more to say. Here's your armor. Just make sure you put it to good use. Well, looks like you're fitting in well down here. I'm supposed to allow you to trade in one of your pieces of guild armor. So what will it be? Of course. Otherwise it wouldn't be much of a reward, now would it? Your new piece will enhance your skill beyond that of the original. Trust me.
So, this is Riften. Glover Mallory told me a good
Are you
deal.
sure? Once I exchange it for you, I'm not taking it back. Unless you want to sell it at a discount, of course. Okay, there you go. Welcome to the cozy little family. I'm one of the lookouts for the guild. Well, you could always speak to Delvin or Vex if you're looking for extra work. Or if you're looking for training, we've got plenty of it down here. Delvin, Vex, Nirwin, and if you're looking... Oh, a bit of this and a bit of that. Until next time.
So, you're glad to hear Calamai got what he deserved. That lizard owes me big for a bad shipment of Shadow-banished wine he tried to pass off on me. Mercer's been storming around waiting for you to come back. I think he's finally figured out who's been messing with the guild. Never seen the guy so angry. Better help him out any way you can. Good day.
Looking for work? Hey, this guild needs the coin. Walking away without taking work is not gonna...
You want something from me? Change it. I can remake your face, if that's what you desire. I do not practice my art for free, however. I doubt you can afford my services. You have the smell of the vagabond about you. Indeed, it is no self to the flesh sculptor's knife. Need something? Need something? Until next time. You want something from me?
Welcome to the cozy little family. I'm one of the lookouts for the guild. I watch Delvin's back.
Even if... I don't care if you're best buddies with the guild master. I'll still smash in your skull if you try anything. The last person that made trouble for Vekel ended up floating in the canal. Catch my drift.
How can a humble servant of Talos help you today?
So, this is Riften. Glover Mallory told me a good deal.
It looks exactly as I pictured.
Lightly armored means light on your feet. Smart.
We're one of the same kind, you and I. See for yourself. Thanks again for the ice ray tea.
If you're looking for a handout,